Don't miss Edge Match. Don't miss Edge Match.
Hey, hello, EduLaunch fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I have the great pleasure to be here with three amazing individuals. We have with us today Zach Rondot, Grayson McKinney, and Suria Ahmed, who are the authors and the illustrator of the Expert Expedition. So, welcome to the show, y'all.
Yes, thank you so much,
for
Sarah.
having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So we're super geeked because this is our latest EduMatch release, and oh my goodness, this book is amazing. So cannot wait until y'all get to see it, get to read it with your students. So they are here today to tell us a little bit more about the book. But before we do that, then can you all please tell us a little more about yourselves in case people don't know you?
Sure. My name is Grayson McKinney, and I'm a fifth grade teacher in Troy, Michigan. This has been my 15th year of teaching, and the second book that I have released with my teaching partner, Zach Rondot.
Hi, I'm Zach Rondot. I'm a fourth grade teacher in Troy, Michigan. Grace and I teach at the same school. This is my 9th year of teaching, and I've taught third and fourth grades, and so excited for this launch day and to put out our second book.
Hi, I'm Suria Ahmed. I am a Troy teacher as well. I teach in the same district, but at a different school. I teach 9th and 10th grade English. This is my 8th year of teaching, and this is my first time illustrating a book. So I'm really excited about that.
That is awesome. Thank you all so much for all of the work that you've done. Like we were just chatting pre-show, and just everything is just beautiful about this book. The story, the illustrations, just everything just kind of pops off the page and grabs you. So that is awesome. So could y'all tell us a little more about the inspiration behind the Expert Expedition?
Yes. So last year, 1 year ago today, in fact, this is our 1 year book anniversary, our book birthday of the book that we had published for teachers called The Expert Effect. And in that book, Zach and I outlined the vision that we have in order to make education relevant, exciting, and memorable for kids. We talk about giving students the opportunity to learn from experts outside of the classroom teacher, become experts in their own right through project-based learning, and then finally give them the opportunity to share their learning and teach others as experts to authentic audiences near and far. And so that book has been very well received. We've heard from educators all over the country, in fact, all over the world, about the ways that they've been giving their students opportunities to learn in this new manner. And we wanted to give teachers another opportunity to introduce this style of teaching and learning to their students. And we wanted to bring that message of you are worth learning from the experts. You are worthy of becoming an expert in your own right. We wanted to bring that message directly to the students. And so we kind of took the 3 parts that I just mentioned and we broke it down, and we're asking the question, what is the most important part of each of these phases of learning? And we put it into a picture book so that students and teachers could have that message shared with them in a really fun way.
Yeah, I'll just add on that when we wrote The Expert Effect, the ultimate goal is to inspire teachers, but through inspiring teachers, we want to affect the work that kids do in the classroom. So this is just like cutting out some of that middle part and bringing the message directly to kids themselves, that they can dream big, they can take on big projects, and they can make a difference in the world before, while they're kids, and not have to wait until you're an adult to step up and do those things.
Right.
Yeah, totally. That is super, super inspiring. So as y'all mentioned before, then this is the 1 year anniversary of your first release, The Expert Effect. But now we have Suria on the team for the Expert Expedition. So how did the 3 of you connect? And could you also please tell us a little bit more about the artwork?
Go ahead, Grayson.
So the way that we got connected, Zach and I are teaching elementary school, and as Suria mentioned, she teaches secondary English. We actually got connected through a summer school opportunity. And normally when people hear summer school, they kind of groan and moan and say, oh my gosh, I would hate to do that. I'd hate to be in school in the summer. We're working so hard all year. Why would you continue that in the summer? But the The program that we were a part of in the summer of 2021 was called the Oakland Youth Innovation Lab. And this was a county-wide project at 5 different sites around our county in Michigan, where we were inviting students 6th through 12th grade to come in during the summer and pursue a project of their own choosing. They got to pick a topic that was very meaningful to them. And we actually had this launch event with Jarrett Lerner, who inspired kids to use their creativity to make a difference in the world. Anybody can make positive impact through their learning and expertise. And we had them like think about issues that are important global, like around the world, pollution, gender equality, all of these different big topics. And we asked them to think about how could they use their learning to make raise their voice and make an impact in the community around them. And so we were 3 teachers in this program, and we got to meet Suria. I don't know if it was I was looking, like, we were looking at something on your phone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you an artist?"
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I cut it in?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so everyone was kind of assigned a topic to teach, and they kind of made me a floater because I kind of had skills in like baking, art, photography, English, writing, journalism. And so they're like, we don't really know where to put you, but you can like float around and help the other teachers. And also they wanted me to be like documenting everything through pictures and video. And so I had to go and introduce myself to the other teachers. So I had gone to Grayson, and I was like, I think you were part of the film production group.
I was working with students who were interested in film editing or video editing, and also music.
Yeah. And so I felt very comfortable with that. And so I was introducing myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Suria. I'm really comfortable with film editing. Here's the video I submitted for my application, because we're all supposed to, it was like a 90-second like video answering one of the questions. And I had decided to illustrate or like doodle in the background while I was narrating. And so I'm like, these are my skills. So I went with the intention of showing him my video editing skills. And then he saw that I could draw. And then he's like, whoa, wait, totally unrelated, but would you be interested in illustrating? And I think that's how it all started.
It is. And I was like, Zach, you have to meet this teacher. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the rest is history now.
Yeah, I was really hesitant. I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to illustrate a children's book. But they were like persistent. They're like, you have to, try this out. They were showing me a bunch of different pictures and inspirations. And then I think I had gone and did my own thing. And they're like, this is exactly the style we want. And we just went from there. That was the first picture I drew.
This picture, and we were like, oh my gosh, you have to be a part of the team. And what was so cool is like, we were spending the summer in telling kids, like, you can do it. You can follow whatever passion you have. You can learn how to do this. We'll connect you with the right people at the right time. They'll give you tips and tricks. They'll teach you how to do it, and you can follow your dreams, basically. And meanwhile, the 3 of us were also pursuing our own dream, and like we were also doing our own passion project. And so it was like we were living in this, like, okay, figuring out how to do this, and while we were teaching kids at the same time. It was just perfect.
One more thing I want to add to that is that given we were all working in the same program, I was working with a group of students who were interested in coding, and they like came up with this prototype idea to code this thing to find trash cans more easily to reduce litter. So through that, we were able to take their inspiration, their idea, and put it in the book. So Suria drew this, and then another time we took a mural tour in Detroit. So that is represented here. So it's really things that the 3 of us were able to experience last summer with kids that made it into this book and helped inspire our vision too.
So tell us, please, why is the subject matter of the book important to you? And y'all already kind of touched on it, but if you could tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit. I think speaking for all of us, we went into education to make a difference, not just to do like standardized testing and multiple choice bubble sheet testing, but it's always been an interest of mine of project-based learning. And probably 5-6 years ago now, Grace and I co-taught a class together of all fourth graders. And we really dove into project-based learning and making learning more authentic. So that was kind of the basis of our first book and to this book, because project-based learning and doing more and breaking down the walls of our classroom and getting our students' voices out to the world is so important to us. So this book is to inspire the students that they can do that and they can take those big steps.
Yeah, and as Zach said, like there's so much in the book that's been, it's the illustrations are so imaginative, and like Suria did an amazing job of like combining where we're at in teaching right now, teaching with iPads, teaching with Chromebooks in the classroom, coding apps and robotics and things like this. And yet the things that like define childhood, which is like the imagination and the fantasy and the pretend play and things like that, like she perfectly like seamlessly combined those two aspects of where kids are at right now, like the whimsy of childhood with the reality of 21st century learning. And I've never seen a book like this before, and so it gives me goosebumps to think about it. And it's, even though there is so much imagination, like fairies and mermaids and princesses, it's still based on things that we've actually had our students doing, like that. There's imagination. What's the tripping over my words? Like imaginary creatures and things like that. But the things that the students are doing in the book, like getting up on stage and giving a keynote address to a group of hundreds of teachers and learners, like that's something that has actually happened for our students. Like a few years ago, I had a group of 4 former students get up and welcome back the teachers of our school district. So like, even though it's very whimsical, the learning style and the projects that we mention in here are things that we've actually done with kids. So it's pretty cool.
I'd like to add on to that. And one of the first things going into this, I asked if I could bring in that fantasy imaginative element, because that's what I'm most comfortable with. And I'm glad that Zach and Grayson allowed me to have that freedom to put that twist to it. So it was really fun.
Yes. And it's personally important to us too, because there's a little bit of each of our personalities and a little bit of our families inside the book too. So like, it's just, not only is it going to be an amazing resource for teachers and families around the world, but also it's going to be like a family heirloom, because it's so meaningful to us.
Oh, that was excellent. I'm so happy that y'all have like pieces of your family within the book, pieces of yourself. Like that is just wonderful. So excellent. So could you tell us a little bit more about the audience for your book? So you said that it's a children's book, but like what grade levels and things of that nature? Like who would be your target audience?
I think it really can be any teacher could use it, kindergarten on up. I think our like biggest like sweet spot would probably be that 2nd to 5th grade level. To really, our vision of this was always like when a teacher is in that launch phase of a project, read this book to get them excited about the idea of connecting with experts and then becoming the expert through their project-based learning, and then to dream big and take their work to a wider scale audience than just inside of their classroom.
Yeah, and another thing that we've done specifically for the launch of this book is we created a website, which is experteffectedu.com. And there, teachers who are using this book will find other resources and other examples of this type of learning, lists of authors that we've connected with, places to look for, scientists that can come and talk to your classroom and things like that. All the things that we've mentioned in the Expert Effect and also Expert Expedition we'll be putting on that website. So it is meant for classroom teachers, but as we were sharing it with our focus group, a lot of our readers said, I would love to have this in my own home too, because learning, it doesn't only happen between the hours of the school bell. Learning can happen at any time from anywhere. And especially over the last 2 years, we've learned that, learning must continue outside of the classroom. And so parents can use this book too at home with their kids to find inspiration to reach out to people that they admire, authors that they've, read books, and ask questions. And you can definitely use it from home as well.
Totally. Well, that is excellent. So what other resources? You just threw out a great resource, by the way. I'm going to put it back up on the screen, experteffectedu.com. So definitely check that out, everybody. But what other resources do you suggest for readers? And also, where can they find you and connect with you?
So as we mentioned, this is a classroom companion to the Expert Effect. And so if you're a teacher who's interested in making learning authentic and exciting for students, definitely check out the Expert Effect, which is available through EduMatch's online store or barnesandnoble.com or Amazon. And this will be the way to take all that information that you've read in your own learning through the Expert Effect and now bring it to the students through the Expert Expedition. That's where I would start with our other book. Other resources, Zach, what else would you recommend?
Yeah, I think we're going to work on our website and get a lot of like, not just our own resources, but connections of, websites that we recommend, connecting with other experts and things that have worked for us in the past. So I think we're going to continue to add to that and build to that.
That is fantastic. And you'll see the Twitter information down at the bottom. And if you are listening to the audio version of this, then you'll find it in the show notes where you can reach out and connect with Grayson, Suria, and Zach. So wanted to thank you all so much for being on here today. Congratulations on your launch. Super excited to get this out into the world. And as you all said, you can find the book available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, as well as edumatchpublishing.com. If you want to do a bulk order, buy a class set or whatever, we start discounts at 10 copies. So just reach out to us. And other than that, if you want to kind of gamify your shopping experience, check us out at edumatchpublishing.com. And you can buy big, save big. So absolutely. But definitely wanted to thank you all again for your time. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. And we will see you on the next episode. So thank you all so much.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
It's Edge Match. Edge Match. It's Edge Match.